Have you ever been scrolling online lately and just felt something was off? Like the internet's getting a little weirder, a little less human? Well, today we're going to dig into why you're feeling that way. It's a real thing and it actually has a name: AI slop.
Yeah, if that question on the screen feels familiar, you are definitely not going crazy. There's this growing feeling that the internet we all grew up with is being paved over by something cheaper, something less authentic. And it turns out there's a very specific reason why everything feels like it's getting worse.
And that reason has a name that honestly just captures the problem perfectly. It's called AI slop.
So what is AI slop exactly? Look, it's not just any old bad content. No, this is different. It's specifically engineered to be just good enough to trick the algorithms, to grab your eyeballs for half a second, and to make someone a quick buck. Think of it as quantity over quality, but cranked up to an absolutely massive industrial scale.
And this stuff is literally everywhere you look. You've seen it, right? The weird, nonsensical books popping up on Amazon, that endless scroll of generic TikToks with robotic voices, even entire fake news articles. And here's the real kicker. Almost all of this is built on a foundation of human creativity, often scraped and stolen without anyone's permission, just so it can be used to replace us with cheap imitations.
And the scale of this problem? It's kind of staggering. Get this. Even before this whole new AI boom, about half of all internet traffic was already just bots talking to other bots. And now, generative AI has put that on steroids, blurring the line between what's real and what's machine-made like never before. To really understand just how dangerous this all is, let's walk through a real-world experiment that went really, really wrong. This is a story about how easily lies can be born and how fast they can spread. Okay, so the story starts with a pretty noble goal. A team of creators wanted to see if they could use these powerful new AI tools to speed up their research for a video about brown dwarfs. You know, those super weird objects that are bigger than a planet, but not quite big enough to be a star. And at first, the results were mind-blowing. The AI spit out this huge, detailed report full of what looked like fascinating facts, and, really importantly, it even listed its sources. It felt like a game-changer for research. But that feeling didn't last very long. When the human experts actually started checking the work, they realized the AI had just made stuff up. It invented cool-sounding things like superstorms on brown dwarfs, and it totally exaggerated other real facts to make them sound more exciting. The AI wasn't trying to be truthful. It was just programmed to generate text that it thought a human would find engaging. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. The AI presented these complete fabrications with the exact same authority and confidence as the real, actual facts. It's not just wrong, it's confidently incorrect. It lies with total conviction because it literally has no concept of what truth even is.
Okay, but this is where the story gets genuinely scary. When the researchers tried to track down the sources for all this fake info, you know what they found? The AI was citing articles from other AI-generated news websites. One machine was using another machine's lies as proof. It creates this terrifying closed loop where misinformation just keeps reinforcing itself.
And then the absolute nightmare scenario happened. A totally different, low-effort channel posted a video about brown dwarfs. It went viral. And guess what? It was filled with the exact same fake facts the AI had just invented. The lie had escaped the lab. It was now part of the public information ecosystem, just waiting to be scraped and cited by the next AI.
So look, this isn't just about one science video going wrong. This little story reveals the massive systemic threat that AI slop poses to, well, our entire understanding of reality.
To really get the damage here, you have to think about the internet's most valuable resource, our attention. It's the one thing that's finite. AI slop can be produced infinitely for basically zero cost. So what happens when all this cheap, mediocre content starts soaking up most of our collective attention?
Well, it means that making thoughtful, well-researched, human-made content becomes almost impossible to justify. I mean, why would you spend hundreds of hours researching and fact-checking a video when an AI can spit out a good enough version in 5 minutes that gets all the views? It's a real threat to the whole creator economy.
So what's the path forward? Are we just doomed to drown in slop? The folks who ran that experiment argue that it's not about banning AI. It's about making a conscious choice. It's about a human commitment.
And this really highlights the two different ways we can go. On one hand, we can treat AI like a content machine, sort of like a complex hammer that tries to build a whole shelf by itself without even knowing what a nail is. The result? It's a crooked, dangerous mess. Or we can treat it like a simple tool. Think of the align button in design software. It just helps with a boring, tedious task, but the human is always in control, making every single creative and ethical choice.
And you can really see that difference when you look at the process. The human way is slow. It's expensive. It involves reading original research, brutally rigorous fact-checking, and talking to actual experts. It has soul. The AI process, it's instant, but it has no understanding, no soul, and as we just saw, absolutely zero commitment to the truth.
The solution that the creators who ran that whole brown dwarf experiment came up with is a really simple but powerful promise. It's a commitment to make things by humans for humans, to value the hard work, the artistry, and the accountability that comes with it. And if there's a mistake, it's a human mistake we can own, not a machine's hallucination.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one that every single one of us has to answer for ourselves. As our digital world gets flooded with cheap, easy, artificial content, the choice of where we put our attention, our time, and our money becomes more important than it has ever been. What is real human creativity actually worth to you?